Hey, so this is a history, an insight into the UK's most popular type of coffee, the history of the latte. So let's, without further ado, get into it. So the latte is, it's actually traditionally thought of breakfast coffee. Its roots can be traced back to, I think, around the 17th century. So even though cafes have mentioned it commonly since the 20th century, its roots go all the way back to the 17th century. Now, the origins of it very specifically aren't clear just because people have been combining coffee and milk for centuries, as you can probably imagine. But the silky smoothie beverage that you're drinking in the coffee shops that you go into today, that is thought to originate in the US, and it hit the peak of its popularity in Seattle during the 1980s. So because of that, the latte has gone on to build several variations. So the cappuccino is a popular one that you, of course, might be familiar with. This has basically got a higher ratio of foam to milk, more foam and then milk as compared to the latte. And then you've got, of course, the flat white, which has got a similar ratio of milk to espresso of milk to espresso, but that's actually served in a smaller cup itself. Now, the term cafe latte, it was created in, I think it's a region of Italy where ultimately American tourists popularly used to go to. And ultimately, Americans just struggled with the bitter and richer flavors of espresso. So warm milk was added to make it more palatable to the American tongue and a bit of a sweeter drink. And as you can imagine, because of its popularity, there's been many creative variations of the latte, such as a pumpkin spice latte, which is made with pumpkin spice syrup as well as steamed milk. And the latte itself, it's now become pretty much a subject of what you'd call artistic expression. Latte art is a big thing. You'll have seen it in cafes that you've gone into. And with latte art, you can get intricate designs and patterns that are fundamentally created with the foam on the surface of the latte. And it's become a real popular form of, let's call it, coffee shop performance. Now, because of its popularity, I would definitely say that the latte has become a symbol of modern coffee culture, and it's inspired the third wave coffee movement, which places the emphasis on the craft and artistry of coffee making itself. And the term cafe latte, it was first used by William Dean Howells in his 1867 essay Italian Journeys. So at that point in the history of the latte, coffee was starting to become a worldwide sensation. But I mean, at that time, the brewing methods were still, compared to today, relatively primitive because espresso machines they just hadn't been invented yet. So, as you know, all other variations, you've got the flat white, and the flat white came from Australia and New Zealand, and it's of course made with less milk than a latte, and we'll go on to talk about that in the flat white specific video. But then to wrap it up, as you probably already do this yourself, but you got now alternative milk options with the latte. Originally, it was just your regular cow's milk, but now you get soy, almond, oat, and they're often used in lattes. So there you have it. That is the history of the UK's most popular coffee drink, the latte.